I feel like a disappointment. I feel I have disappointed my late father, and I have disappointed my mother. I have not achieved anything in life. My work permit was denied, and I don't even know where to start from when I go back home. Abroad is not what you think it is. It is hard. I have not accomplished anything yet. If I had gone to UK or USA or Canada, perhaps it would have been different. Asian countries are hard. I wouldn't advise anybody to come here. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Edwina. It's so good to have you here with me. So these words were spoken by a very beautiful Nigerian YouTuber who was pouring her frustration out because she studied in an Asian country, and after school she applied for work permit and it was denied, and she is thinking of going back home, and the shame of not having achieved anything yet is making her so frustrated, and she does not even know what to do. And I empathize with her greatly. I really empathize with her, and I pray that she finds a way. I pray that God makes a way for her, because really it is not easy for someone to come out on a place like this and share such a sensitive information that makes her so vulnerable and cry in front of the whole world. It is very difficult, and I pray that God makes a way for her. Nonetheless, I want us all to learn from her situation and see how best, as much as possible, we can minimize such occurrences when we travel. Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss today. Kindly consider subscribing and be part of this lovely family if you have not done that yet. Before you travel to anywhere, okay, before you take your bags and your luggages and leave your country, before you decide on traveling, the first thing you should do is to know your why. Why do you want to travel? Okay, why do you want to travel? It is very, very important for you to know your why. Your why should determine which country you should even want to travel to. So first, know your why. Why do you want to travel? Is it for school? You are traveling for school, and after school, what? You should know. After school, what? You are traveling just to find greener pastures? After you know your why, and everybody's why is different. Everybody's why is different. So it shouldn't be that people are just traveling and you also want to go, and I mean, it's easy to get a visa here and everybody's going and you are also going. You do not know their whys, and their situations may not be the same as yours. After you are very sure and certain of your why, then it is now time to search for which country really complements your why. Which country makes your why achievable? Okay, which country makes it easier for you to achieve your purpose, your why? Because whether we like it or not, it is not the same everywhere. It is absolutely not the same everywhere. It differs from country to country. Every country and their immigration laws. Some countries have very strict immigration laws. Some countries are more friendly and open towards foreigners. So after you know your why, that will help you determine which country you should start working on. Let me also add that I know some countries are difficult to get visa approval, especially if you're a first-time traveler. So some people would like to go through some other countries before they get to their final destination, and that is part of knowing your why. You see, that person had a plan. perhaps out first, since it's very difficult for me to get this visa from, say, Ghana or Nigeria straight to where I want to go. Let me first go here for school, and whilst I am in school there, I will then apply to where I really want to go, and it is easier for me to get it from there. Once you settle on the country, then you ask yourself, which visa type best suits my why? Which visa type should I apply for? There have been so many instances where people complain of their agents applying for the wrong visa type for them, and they come into the country and they go through so much stress because they are not able to do what they wanted to come and do. So you should know what visa type best suits your why. So if you're coming to school, then it means you're applying for a study permit, yeah? If you're coming to work, then you would want to find out the process of getting a work permit to wherever you want to go. If for any reason it is difficult to get the most suitable visa and you get an alternative visa, you should have a plan on how you are going to figure it out. So let's assume that your main purpose of getting this visa is actually to come and work and get permanent residence, but you did not get a work permit from home, so you came with a visit visa. What is your plan? Does the immigration laws in that country have any process that you can go through and be able to get a different visa type that allows you to stay and work? You should know. What plan do you have to get a visa that can give you the peace of mind to stay and work? You should know. You should know all this before you travel. In actual fact, you cannot know everything 100%, but you should have an idea. In some countries, it is more riskier than other places, so you should know. In some countries, just the sight of seeing a police car makes people want to run away because they do not have a residence permit. So you want to do all this search before you even apply for the visa and take your bags and luggages and leave your home country. Okay, so after doing all these things and you are sure and you have a plan, you have an alternate plan just in case your first plan does not work out. You have an alternate plan, then you know that you are ready to make the move. When you get to whatever country you are going, you try to build associations with people who have similar or the same purpose and are trying to achieve the same thing so that you work at it together. Okay, and another thing I have to say is that you have to manage your expectations. So many of us have very high expectations of abroad because of what we see in movies, because of what we see on the social media, because of what people show us. What we refuse to see is that what people show us, people will normally show us the pleasant side of things. So what they show us is not what it all is about, so that you do not be disappointed. Okay. Another group of people that you should manage is your family and friends back home. Okay, you know, the way we all think when people travel abroad, once you get here, you are rich. We have all thought like that before. We have all treated people who traveled abroad very unfairly in the past. And it takes you to be here to realize that, oh my God, I have been so unfair to these people. People back home who have never traveled have their own expectations of what abroad is and what abroad should be in their minds based on what they see. Okay, you should manage them because you have your plan, you have your purpose, and you are working at something. And the truth is, getting a more permanent resident and all that involves lots of money. So if by God's grace you come and you get money, your focus should be on stabilizing, being stable. It is not time to start buying expensive gifts for them or even yourself, you do not need to get the latest iPhone just because you've traveled abroad, whilst the phone you brought from back home is working perfectly well. You do not need to, because you are working at something. You have a purpose. You have a target you are working at. So you do not do things blindly. You talk to your family to understand that I need money to be able to get this, and at that point, that is when I am more stable and I can have a peace of mind. I am standing on my feet and I can support you well. And you should let your family and friends know that you are working towards a more sustainable plan, which will be to everybody's benefit eventually if it works out for your good. So that is not the time to spend lavishly on anything. That is not the time to be in a haste to buy properties or put up properties back home. I mean, they'll call you, there's a land here, tell them to hold on because you are working at getting your documents. I mean, abroad is about having the right documentations. Having the peace of mind here to work is about having the right documentations. Until you have that, really, it is difficult. Okay, so let that be your focus when you travel and work at it. That should be your priority before any other thing. Once you get there, then you are able to do all the other things. Then for those of us who intend to use the asylum route, or who are in the process of seeking asylum, you should know that the outcome is 50-50. It can either go in your favor or against your favor. So you should have a plan. I mean, if it does not go in your favor, what is your plan? Should you even wait till your case has ended? And then worst case scenario, if you are asked to go back home, what are you going with? Okay, so if you are in that situation and by God's grace you are working, you should know that you are working, and your major focus should be on saving as much money as you can. Your major focus should be on saving as much money as you can whilst you are working, so that if you have to go back home at any point in time, you would be able to go well because you have saved enough to establish yourself when you go back home. Guys, I hope today's video is beneficial to somebody, especially those who are now thinking of traveling in the first place, or those who just came and they are still trying to find their feet. Let us all do these things so that we do not hit the rock where we have to go back home and it turns into tears because you haven't accomplished anything yet. It comes so unexpected because you haven't done anything back home that you are going to. And the same people back home who will be calling you for this and that and all that are the same people who are going to say that, oh, he or she even went abroad and came back with empty hands. So be careful. People will always be people. People will talk no matter what. Know what your priorities are and do not lose focus. Okay, thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this video. Please subscribe if you have not done that yet, and see you in my next video. Bye.